Some of them, which are painful because it was all over the news. A husband comes back home, he hacks his children to death. A woman comes, she's in her home, she has no food to give her children. She strips naked. She's overwhelmed and she's screaming, she wants food. I was getting even messages in my inbox. People are telling you, and they are single parents. They are out of a job. They don't have food at the table, and even the food wasn't getting to them. I have a friend who has a child with autism. Children who are autistic, they only know routine. So when they know it is time for school, they want to go to school. They don't understand COVID. They don't understand that we are in a lockdown. So explaining to those children is hard. They get agitated and worked up. So it has been a challenge for parents to meet the needs of children, especially also children with special needs. And then another challenge, the young people were quite idle because there's a young man who was, I don't know whether to call it being molested, but he was molested by a young lady at university, and it was all over social media. You see, those are some of the things. Now children are also trying to look for options online. What do we do? And when finally there's a partial lift of the lockdown, they are engaging in activities that are not productive. So the children's mental health has been at risk. Also adults, it has been at risk, but it's not all hopeless. As parents, we also have a role to play. Because one of the things that I do, we managed to get our child, our teenage child, the big one, a job, a part-time job. At least that helps to engage her positively. So those are some of the things as parents we can think of. What do we do to help our children? Because each of the children are individuals. And one of the kids, I have a friend, her son has autism. What she does, she has a project for him. He rears chicken and he's happy. Instead of just being there, he doesn't understand that life.
From what you're saying, looks like there's a certain mindset to adopt in this time because the challenges are they cut across home, work, family.
The kind you should adopt to first accept that change has happened. And that change is something that we have to live with. It doesn't matter, even though COVID had never happened, change will always happen. Because you cannot be the same woman or the same man you were 5 years ago. You definitely have evolved. So when you have that kind of mindset that, yeah, change has come. Now, how do I thrive during this change? Look at the hawkers. Let's take a simple example of the hawkers on the streets. What are they selling? I want to hear that from you. What are they selling?
Mangoes,
What else are they selling since COVID?
masks.
You got it right. Because they knew for us to remain in business post-COVID, we had better sell masks. Government is pumping the information on radio, television, everywhere. We have to thrive. So, if you are into fashion, this is your opportunity to thrive. Where are people importing clothes from? Why don't you use this opportunity to make clothes for children, for adults, even for men? Just use that as your opportunity to thrive. Find out what is the need and feel that need, meet that need. And actually, even in this time, mental health support is more important than anything anywhere. Because even the CEOs have had a challenge. You know, letting go of people is not easy. It's not a nice place to be. When you're a leader, you have to make tough choices. Because you're saying, if this business is going to remain afloat, what do we do? That means journalism has also changed its face. You had better be online or you are out. If you think you're only going to be selling the hard copy newspaper, no business for you. So you have to think, what are the alternatives? What are the options? What do I have? What can I offer? What is the need? And since we are all different, everyone has to identify their own strength and where the need is and how to meet that need.
Okay. So could you speak to somebody who might be thinking that this change and find a new idea is all about money? There's somebody who might be thinking, I don't have the money, you know? I don't have the money, I've lost the job, I have a family to feed, I have no money, where do I start?
I'll give an example. I have a young friend who I'm mentoring. I got her in touch with somebody. She's working there almost on voluntary basis. But she told me something. I might not be getting a lot of money now because basically what is covering is her lunch and transport. But I'm learning a lot. It is better for me to learn than be seated at home. So where it starts, it is in your mind. Money cannot limit you. Money is to facilitate you, right?
The idea you have.
Yes. So I'll give a simple example because a lot of work is being done online. What are you doing? Do you have an online presence? Are you selling honey? What is your strategy to sell it online? Or are you going to only sell it to your neighbors in Nansana? Right? Or are you selling beautiful diaries like these and then you're going to sell them in Nigeria? But how are you going to do it? Online, right? So you have to think. And someone will say, but I don't have the diaries.
Yeah.
It is okay. I'll give a simple example. You're a teacher, for example. Not you, Sheila, but one of our, anyone could be on our audience.
Exactly.
Why should schools in Uganda come to a standstill when you have a skill? It costs almost 0 shillings to start a Facebook page. Why don't you pool resources, say with about 5 friends who are also in the same profession? You are trained, you are qualified, teach the children online. Make the children's parents pay. Why should we lose a year? These are ideas. People have the skills.
Are we even sure that this is going to take a year?
Thank you. So what happens? You can't do it. It can't be done. It's about our mindsets. The money will follow you.
Speaking of teachers, there was something in the New Vision, I think 2 days ago, that was saying there was a teacher that had shifted to Rolex business. So now he has a stall. He's making chapati to make a living.
And that is so true because he has a very good point there, because there's another teacher who I also know. She teaches children with special needs, but she had to start growing a vegetable garden, which is portable, and she has resorted to actually selling those vegetables, as plants. So people who want to grow their vegetable gardens at home, she's selling to them already. That is money. So you can't be rigid. Like I told you, because right now, even me as a journalist, there are changes I have faced, and I have had to realize that I need to rebrand myself. I can't stop at being a journalist. If I'm a journalist, what else? So like I said earlier, I'm writing a book. About, actually I already gave it a title, My Story, My Journey. I'm writing a book already because I want to position myself so that people are able to read. You mean it's possible? After a diagnosis, you can be useful to community? You mean it is possible you can still hold on to a marriage? You mean it's possible you can raise your children? People need to read that stuff. We need to leave a record, because this is something as Africans which is a challenge. We have a lot of gold, but many people die with their gold. Let us make sure the gold comes out and benefits the next generation so that they are better than even us. Yeah.
That's right. Now, you mentioned something to do with introverts and also the extroverts. So the introverts might have some coping skills here and there because, they like that seclusion. But speak to the extroverts that thrives of, they find their energy
Out there with people.
interacting with people.
Now, what I can say for the extrovert, because that's more like me as well,
Okay.
what I've noticed is that my engagement online has helped me make friends.
Okay.
There's someone I got in touch with because of my engagement online. And you know, we just talked over phone. We haven't yet met face to face, but I engage with my friends on phone. And then other things you can do, because really you can only breathe when you're out there. Surely, if it means taking walks at least 3 times in a week, just take those walks. You see the people. You might not be able to talk to them, but at least see them. Yeah. And then, like I said, another thing is engage in the new apps that are available. And one of them is the Zoom, which is so popular all over. Engage with the world out there. I know it is really not the same, because really when you're talking to someone face to face, it's cozy, it's warm, it's better. But at least I'll see your face virtually. We shall talk and make plans for later when we can find it, when it is safe for us to engage. Yeah.
So Angela,
Could you just send a word of encouragement to somebody out there that feels stuck, that feels hopeless, is probably having a hard time adjusting to the season?
Not to be anxious. It sounds crazy, but let's face it. When you worry, does the problem go? It will not. So because the problem hasn't gone, get back to the drawing board, look at what to offer the world, and after you've looked at what you have to offer the world, ask yourself, how can I present it so that it is relevant in this season? And you know, in life we need people. Let us not despise the people around us. Most times what we need is actually around us. Because I'm a believer, I believe in Jesus big time. So as a believer, ask God, even though you don't believe, ask him to open your eyes. See the well before you. See the opportunities before you. Because with the people around us, we can be much better. There's no one who can thrive without a person. We need people. So with those people around you, you can think, what can I do? What can I do better? Ask yourself those hard questions, because the change is here. And we need to change as it changes. But changing as we thrive. And as we thrive, we are also fulfilling our lives and other people's lives. So that is something I can say which will help a lot. And also, not to be timid, to be bold, and to have self-control, and not to be fearful. Of course, that sounds almost crazy when you tell somebody, don't be fearful, and they're saying, I do not have food. You're saying, I shouldn't be fearful, I don't have money in the bank. But it starts with you, and you have to take charge of the thought processes and your mind. Something that I have learned is also the power of thanksgiving. We need to learn to give thanks for what we have. I thank God big time for my wonderful children. Thank God for my husband. Thank God for my friends. Awesome. And when you have that attitude of thanksgiving, it will always help you look forward to good. Because despite everything, give thanks. Your family has come out with life. You have life, you have hope. Because with life, you can thrive, you can plan, you can dream and implement for God and my country.
Thank you so much, Angela. This has been a great conversation to have with you. So we have had this conversation, guys. Let's take care of our mental health, and we will be able to thrive.
thank you so much for watching. Please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And also subscribe, share, like. See you next week. Bye.